All right, before we begin, let's thank our sponsors. Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite pest and wildlife control. But that's not all. Inspect All Pest Services will take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. InspectAllServices.com. Big thanks to the Aurora Law Firm. That'd be one Mad Dog Manny Aurora and Pew Pew. The AuroraLawFirm.com litigates all of the United States, based out of Georgia, whether it's criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. That would be the Aurora Law Firm. Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell and his therapist. 3 locations in Georgia, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains and East Cobb. Marietta near the square in McKaysville, just outside of Blue Ridge. But the good doctor can talk to you wherever you are at with a virtual session. Schedule that today via markwelltherapy.com or email him directly, ridgelinecounseling@gmail.com. FPC Insurance, perfect for new homeowners, or if you're just looking to reshop those current insurance policies, which is never a bad idea. 5-star service, shop over 35 A-rated companies, multi-policy bundle discounts. They'll help you shop for carriers to find insurance for your house, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or even a personal policy. 888-308-1841. You can always get a quote online, FBCInsuranceServices.com. Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia, family owned and operated. They are a Generac generator dealer offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. Never lose power again. They're the best at what they do, hands down, no doubt about it. Every customer at Alternate Power Solutions gets an upgraded warranty, free monitoring with a service contract. They offer flexible financing, semi-annual and annual service contracts for existing installations, and warranty repair. A-plus rating with the BB&B. Call or request a free home assessment. You can do that by calling 770-853-7571 or go to poweringgeorgia.com. Don't forget the discount code Bailey, my last name, Bailey, for $500 off your entire installation, servicing Georgia and Tennessee. Jayco Contracting, gutter and roofing specialist. Give Cliff Bratcher a call. Two-peer Cliff Bratcher. This is the hardest working guy in the business and the most trustworthy. 770-316-3876. He works every day of the year. Don't worry about it. He's got you. Licensed and insured roofing and gutter specialist covering all of Georgia. They are a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, the creator of the Pink Panther, not the you know what I mean. Free gutter guards with the purchase of a roof. Satisfaction guaranteed, commercial and residential. JaycoContracting.com. And, of course, Cliff Bratcher, 770-316-3876. And Live Ozone Therapy Spa, Central Florida's first and only ozone therapy spa, also offering red light therapy, presotherapy, halo therapy, PEMF, and also chromiotherapy, plus many ozone-infused products online like the magnesium butter. You can go to liveozoneTherapySpa.com to book your appointment or to purchase any of those products. And for all 2 peers, if you use the code BS10, you get a 10% discount at checkout. All right, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, please reach out to me via thebaileyshow.com. Let's have a conversation, see how the BS podcast can help your brand. All right, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast. A guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
All right, there it is. Episode 327 of the BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. There's the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Hello, B-Man.
Aloha, I am here.
There's the Bald Badger, Mr. Benjamin.
Man. How you doing?
Good. And there's Chris Waters. How are you? I got to come up with a nickname for you. I haven't come up with it yet.
We'll get there, but I am sunburnt as hell.
Yeah, you look sunburned. You're out there, Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida, doing it up with the. When I lived in Tampa, I lived in Riverview, and I would, go. It's like Busch Gardens is weird for those that aren't familiar. Like here in Orlando, the theme parks. When you go to the theme parks, you see signs for the theme parks. Busch Gardens is like right in the middle of downtown. It's so odd. Like you could be going to the grocery store and you're like, yeah, the grocery store is the right after Busch Gardens. It's like Busch Gardens it's just in an odd place. It's just like right there. And it's sneaky how big it is because it branches out. You have no idea. You know, when I was in high school, we went to Busch Gardens and I scaled the fence to get in for free. And I ended up jumping into one of the animal pits.
Bad idea.
True story. Yeah, it wasn't like a dangerous animal, but it was like one of those, whatever. But like when you're walking into the entrance, whatever was on the right side of, like if you're walking into Busch Gardens and you're going into the entrance, that right wall, I scaled it.
Flamingo pen.
That's where the cheetahs are now.
Well, I didn't see a cheetah. I just scaled it and I just walked in and I climbed over another fence and look, I was in high school. I saved like $40. I was like, this is great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens is definitely like behind neighborhoods. There's nothing.
Right.
It's weird.
It's like
There's a municipal golf course and like a bunch of middle class neighborhoods and then a theme park.
It's like Carol Baskin's Tiger Sanctuary. It's just like in the middle of nowhere. And it's somewhere. It's crazy. Yeah.
Busch Gardens is super cool, man. It has all the roller coasters you could possibly want. And I grew up in Atlanta around Six Flags, right? And it was roller coaster based. You come to Busch Gardens, they are awesome. So I encourage everybody to come. The animals are awesome too. And you're right, Jason, this place is humongous. Once you get inside, you are in a whole nother world. You are no longer in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm not a roller coaster guy, so
What?
I'm terrified. I'm a purse holder. I'm a good guy. I'm a purse holder. I'm the guy.
Stand and wave.
Hello, good. And then, in middle school that sucked when the fair would come to town, and you're trying to get with a girl, and the girl always went with a guy that would go on the roller coaster with them.
Do all the rides.
Right. That's how I lost Nancy Bailey. I was trying to date Nancy Bailey in 6th grade. And she was the hip snips. And I was like, hey, do you want to meet at the fair tonight? And I bought her an elephant ear and we went to the fun. And I was trying to like avoid all of the other stuff. So I was like,
right around the teacups.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you want, let's do the fun house for the 8th time. That was great, wasn't it? And then finally, like the dudes were all like, hey, let's go ride the, Wheels of Steel or whatever it was.
The neck snapper 3000.
I was like, and then you have to make up an excuse because at that age you can't be honest. You can't say, I'm terrified of them. You're just like, man, and you don't want to say your stomach's upset because you don't talk about that kind of stuff at that age. So you got to come up with some weird excuse. I had a million of them. I forgot which one, but I was like, yeah, I'll hold your guys' stuff. I'll just say, I'll sit this one out. I'll just sit this one out. And they're on there doing the Himalaya, it's, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you're getting ready to melt your face to get some Motley Crue, girls. We're going to go forward and then get reverse. Get ready. Got to buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Himalaya. We're melting your face. The Motley Crue. Let's get it, boys. That kind of thing. I could have been a Himalaya DJ.
Yeah. I mean, you held a lot of purses because you did that very well.
Thank you. A lot. Yeah. I mastered the art of DJing in the Himalaya.
Have you seen all these videos of these like county fairs and stuff where all the rides are like malfunctioning now? Like nothing stays on the ground. They're all tipsy turvy and people are like going over and trying to hold them down. Have you seen this?
Yeah. The kid died in Orlando.
They've all gone to hell. That was a whole different situation. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
We flew out.
Yeah.
Well, he was 340 pounds. He should have never been on that ride.
He squeezed out of a space this big too.
He never should have been on that ride.
He died, right?
He wasn't locked in. Oh yeah, it was a horrifying thing to watch.
Yeah, the kid was launched.
Yeah. No, he goes up all the way. Then as they come down,
the brakes, he came out.
Yeah, he came and squeezed out of the spot. He's a big boy, and these things are locked down. But the actual front, was manually triggered to where the safety mechanism was off, and
So when it comes back down, it hits the brakes real quick and then slowly like airbags to the ground. When it hit the brakes, I hate to say it, he was just too fat and he came sliding out, his thing opened and he face planted and it was horrific.
From 40 feet maybe?
Yeah.
However high where the brakes start to slow.
And he was a kid too.
Yeah.
14. He was 14 years old and he was 340 pounds.
I wonder how much they paid out for that.
Millions.
A lot.
And it was a recent payout too, I believe.
Yeah, it's definitely not there anymore.
The ride's still there.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, they took it out the end of last year. I think it finally went bye-bye. It was
Really?
there for a while, but non-operational. Now it's gone.
That'd be the ride you go on though if you want short lines. Like no one else is gonna want to get on that one. They kept that one open.
Now
Right.
they've got the slingshot thing in its place.
Okay.
Equally as safe. Yeah.
Yeah. Run by Jim, not Tim. You know, it's something totally different.
Yeah, that's a new mustache.
So the Mad Dog and I believe Pew Pew from the Aurora Law Firm should be joining us here soon. We'll do some legal questions. We can find out about Pew Pew's internet date.
And the legal questions pertaining to said date. That's the other.
Right, exactly. So we'll wait for him on that. This is a Freebay episode, so welcome non-subscribers. We hope that you kind of dig the show and enjoy what we do. And you'll like it so much that you'll want to subscribe to the podcast via thebaileyshow.com. Remember, subscribing to Spotify is not subscribing to the Bailey Show podcast. Subscribing to Spotify is a totally different animal. You have to go to thebaileyshow.com and hit the subscribe button. There's like a couple things, takes you 2 seconds to fill it out, and then you'll have access to all of the locked episodes. If you are on Spotify, you will see there's a lock next to a lot of episodes. You will unlock them after you subscribe. So thousands of hours of content, hundreds of episodes for you to listen to. We just hope that you eventually become a subscriber, because that's kind of how this machine works, is because of the subscribers. And we've got great 2-peers. And I like to do stuff for you guys. You sub 2-peers, like win Bailey's Booty right now. Next week's episode, we'll have another winner. Every month I'm giving away $100 to a subscriber. We'll do the picky wheel. I'll post it on social media. It's just a randomized wheel that goes. I'll show a little bit of the email. I'll send you an email because I will get that information. Check your email, check the social, listen to the shows. You'll have 24 hours to get back in touch with me for 100 Gaituses. So 100 Gaituses just for listening to a podcast. Not too many people are doing that. So anyway, thebaileyshow.com. I learned a very valuable poker lesson just recently. I was asked to do a live stream at the poker room that I frequent here in Orange City. And it was very nice of them to ask me. It was smart on their part to do it. They asked influencers and,
was it an influence tournament or something?
It wasn't a tournament. It was a 1-3.
Okay.
It was a 1-3 cash game with a $500 max buy-in. So there wasn't a lot of money on the table. Very good poker players at the table. There wasn't a lot of action. It wasn't like a 2-5 game at 11 or 12 o'clock at night kind of thing. But they just set up their new live stream area in the poker room, and it's beautiful. Got this beautiful brand new custom built table. It was a lot of fun, and I was very honored to be a part of it. I get why they did it, because they want the people that have an audience to talk about, the Orange City Poker Room, and that's great. I love everybody over there, even the people that I play with, even the people that take my money. I still love them as well. But I learned a very valuable lesson playing in this live stream event. I'd never played in one before. And if you're not familiar with it, and you're not a poker player, let me explain. If you've ever seen poker on TV, where you have people, about 8-9 people around a table, there's 8 people, and then you get to see their cards. So there's a device in front of everybody, a little box, and you put your cards there, and it reads the cards so they can put it up on the screen, so you watching at home can see what they're playing. Anyway, I didn't win any money, but I didn't lose much either. I lost like a couple $100. There wasn't a lot of money exchanged at the game. Everyone that played, I thoroughly enjoyed your company. You were fantastic people. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed your company. Here's the lesson I learned. Wear a hat.
Was your head shining?
No. Bald spot. I'm getting the friar tuck. I mean, I'm not the bald badger yet, but
there's a reason why this happens.
Yeah, and I want to blame it on the headphones all these years, because that's where it's at. Just rub it on the thing here. Who knows? I have no idea, but it's embarrassing.
It's too much testosterone, man. There's no room for hair.
I'm watching this live stream and I'm going, oh my God. I'm like, Bailey, stop putting your head down. But they had cameras everywhere. Another lesson that I learned: don't text or write down pertinent information.
They see everything you're typing.
So you can see all this stuff.
everything.
They'd be like, oh, looks like the home life's not going good. Oh, and they just got a divorce.
No, it was what did I write? So I take notes all the time. And I have in my phone, I have the BS podcast, and I have show notes. And when I think of something, I got to write it down. And
like during a poker game, you write like taking notes on their tells or their patterns?
No,
or is it just all other stuff you're thinking of?
Just content.
Okay.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you what I write down. Like, I write down song lyrics, I write down thoughts, I write down jokes, I write down stuff to talk about on the show. My memory is not as good as it used to be, unfortunately. But I'll forget something and it'll drive me insane when I forget it. So I just have a bunch of notes. And so I'm watching this live stream and you literally can see what I'm typing. Like, and credit to them. And I think they did this on purpose. They changed camera angles immediately. But I think I was taking a note about somebody at the table. And to us, it's a joke. It's a little bit of a rib. Poker players can be very sensitive. So if they were to see that in the way I was writing the note in my phone, they would probably take offense to it. I forget what I have it written down somewhere. I had to find it, but yeah. So 2 lessons that I learned from the book. Let me tell you a story real quick. I don't get in any altercations at a poker table. I don't.
I was gonna ask about that. Yeah.
What? You think I'm a confrontational guy at a poker table?
No, but some people are, and I didn't know if you came across those at that poker room very often.
Now,
some people are just dicks at the table, man.
Some people are. There are a lot of them, and I always look at it as they're being that way because they're trying to put you on tilt, And I've had people get upset or say things or do something, sometimes directed at me for whatever reason. I'll catch a card on the river. They'll get pissed off. That happens quite often, and they'll take it out on you, like you picked the card, to come on the river, that kind of thing. I don't get into it with them. I'm too smart for that. You can't get under my skin. I have a pretty thick skin, so it just doesn't even bother me. So this poker room has a rule where even if you push your money across the line on the table, it's not in play. You have to release your chips in order for it to be in play.
What do you mean, like take your hands off of it?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So I was in a pretty good sized pot with this guy, and I had probably 18 outs. So I'm going all the way to the river, and he's heavy. Actually, I was heavy betting. I'm like, get out of the pot, dude. Get out of the pot. I had a straight draw, I had a flush draw, I had overcards. I had everything working for me. None of them hit. And I made the mistake not realizing that I didn't have much money left. I only had like a couple $100 left, and the pot was probably like $500. So I'm not getting him off of this pot. So I have my stack of chips that I'm pushing into the middle of the table. And as I'm doing it, and I didn't do this on purpose, kind of. I mean, I wasn't what's called angling. I wasn't angling him. So I'm pushing the chips in, and I look into the corner of my eye, and the guy was already shoving his chips in the middle. And I'm like, okay, well,
just back.
And I pulled him back, and the dude flips out on me. Absolutely flips out on me. And I'm like, relax. He goes, no, he's a foreign guy. No, they were in the middle, but they're in the middle. They're in play. I said, no, that's not how this poker room works, sir. You have to release your chips. Let's call the floor. I said, I tell you what, I'll bet you this stack of chips if I'm wrong. No, I don't want to do that. So the floor comes over, agrees with me, obviously. And I said, okay, well, I check. And I said, go ahead and bet. And he goes, no. And he flips over the cards. I said, okay, you won. I was like, I had 2 6 of hearts, but I had like a straight flush draw, I had a flush draw, I had all kinds of stuff. And then, so he won the pot and he was happy about it. So anyway, that's probably the most angry I've ever seen anyone at me on a poker table. I was like, God, I'm part of this group now. So for the rest of the game, I had people that I know that I play with all the time there. They're like, oh, there's Bailey angling people, because it's kind of a shisty move, but I didn't do it on purpose. Like I didn't say in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to pull it back just to see what this guy does. I didn't do it on purpose. I was pushing it in. And when I saw he was going to do it, I was like, I'm going to save myself $200 here. I'm not going to push him in the middle.
Well, but he jumped the gun too. Like that was still your time. It was still your move, your decision.
Right. Exactly.
He showed his hand, literally.
Yeah. So anyway, I looked and I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. I'm going to save myself a couple $100. And thank God I did, because like within the next couple of hands, I hit quad eights on the flop, mind you, won a pretty good sized pot, then won the high hand. So I had one buy-in this night of $500, which was good because that's what I usually buy in. I like to buy in for kind of a semi-short stack. And so I was down to 200. I won that pot, won a couple $100, then got the high hand of $500, then went on this heater for the next 2 hours, ended up leaving up $3,000.
Well, there you go. All I had to do was piss off
How
a
much
foreigner.
of his money did you take?
Right, exactly. All I had to do was ice it out, right? That's all I had to do. That's all you got to say now is like, dude, do you really want to argue with me? I'm one phone call away and I can collect $750. Do you really want to have this conversation right now? I don't think you do. Anyway, so that's my weekly poker story for you. I'm on a good run, 2 back-to-back really good sessions, and I'm getting to where I need to get to in my poker world. Yeah, nice. All right, like I said, Manny and Pew Pew will come up anytime you've got questions for the Mad Dog Manny Aurora with the Aurora Law Firm. You can always send those to me. However you want to do it, you can post it on the show's social media. You can email me directly. You can get all that information on thebaileyshow.com. All right, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this documentary on Netflix. It's called Chaos, the Manson Murders. Brandon, have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen. I mean, I'm aware of the Manson murders, but I have not seen this in particular documentary.
What do you know about Charles Manson and the Manson murders?
I think, see, this is where I get Ted Bundy and him mixed up, because I think Ted Bundy liked the girls, but I also think he liked the girls also, because Jeffrey Dahmer liked the gay guys. So I'm just trying to figure out which one. I know he murdered a lot of people, and he had a cult going on. I think he was more of a religious leader, cult-like, unlike the other serial killers.
Okay.
Manson didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. Manson did, supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah, his people did.
His people did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
MK Ultra.
He, what'd you say, Chris?
MK Ultra.
What is that?
Oh, that's all the CIA mind experiment stuff that they tried to.
Hold on. Spoiler alert. Oh my God. You're jumping the gun here. Okay. Hold on. So that's the problem working with somebody so smart. Spoiler alert. All right. Ben, you obviously know a good bit about Manson, right?
Yeah, a thing or two.
Okay. So what do you know about the Manson murders?
Well, the Manson murders, or Manson as a person, or both?
Both.
So he was a failed songwriter, and his frustrations led him to take a bunch of drugs that stimulated his mind, and then he had a lot of interesting things to say to a bunch of lost souls, and created his own cult.
Okay.
And yeah.
And the murders were what?
The murders were.
You said you knew about the Manson in general, and then you knew
about like the Shirley, not Shirley. What was her name? Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate. Yeah. I don't remember the reasoning behind them. You're gonna have to educate me on that one.
Okay. Well, you had the Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski murders, right? Well, Roman Polanski wasn't there, right? He was out of town.
Right. Yeah.
And then the night after, there were also murders that the same Tex and the girls also did. Chris, you obviously know what I'm getting at here. Have you seen this documentary?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay, so you tell me why you think Manson's people murdered those people.
You know, I don't have an opinion. I don't know. I'd have to know the backstory.
Well, no, you don't.
They didn't like the Beach Boys song.
Right. I mean, like, if you know anything, Brandon, why do you think they murdered the people?
They probably felt like they were cleansing their soul.
Okay. So for religious purposes, cult purposes, some weird cult thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Mind wash. Brainwashing me.
Oh, okay. Well, now, see, it's different than what he's saying. You know, that's what I'm getting at here. This documentary on Netflix, Chaos, the Manson Murders, is all around that. Yeah, I mean, these people were crazy, because literally, I mean, when they were arrested and charged and then convicted, they all came out and said, Charles Manson told us to go and murder these people. Okay. Manson, till the day he died, denied all of that. He always denied. He said, I didn't tell him to do anything. And I don't think they ever got proof, like anything on tape or anything, of him telling them to go do it. You know, so I don't even know what he was in jail for, to be honest with you, but he spent the rest of his days in jail. You look at these big cults and these historic murders that we hear and see about all the time, and we just chalk it up for whatever it is. Like, I just asked 3 people to tell me about the Manson murders, and none of you could give me specifics. You just know the name Charles Manson, you know cult, you know religious purposes, which really there wasn't any of. It was more, I mean, he's not sitting there saying he's the son of God. I don't think he was. The dude had a swastika on his freaking forehead. He was just crazy. But there's a conspiracy, which I had never heard of before until I saw this documentary on Netflix, Chaos, the Manson Murders, that his followers killed 7 people on his orders because of this CIA experiment back in the day of mind control, that there were certain people that the CIA recruited to control their minds, which that conspiracy consists or exists still to this day with some of these mass shootings and some of these just out of the blue things that happen. You're going like, okay, there's crazy, but to be so methodical and strategically crazy.
Jason Bourne.
The guy in Las Vegas to high-powered assault rifles at the hotel, shooting into the concert. That crazy is walking into the concert and shooting, not being elevated up and shooting down. I mean, that's a different level of crazy. So there is the idea out there that some of these people are under mind control by the United States government or by an agency or a department that have an ulterior motive, whether it is distraction, which is easy to believe in, right? That's an easy theory to buy into. I mean, yes, can somebody control your mind and brainwash you? Absolutely. Hands down. I mean, you do it for fun, right? You'll go see Joey the Brainwasher. Oh, let me do it. I want to go up there and act like a hot dog. Oh, that's funny. Did you see Bill? We went and saw Joey the Brainwasher the other night, and he made Bill a hot dog. It was hilarious. How did he do it? Was it real? I don't know. But Bill said he was a hot dog. It was funny. And then they clapped, and Bill was no longer a hot dog. It exists. You can brainwash somebody. You can take over. You can tell them what to do. Can you imagine at that government level of those kind of weird experiments, where they bring people in? So the idea behind all of this, I mean, even though they go through it, and they go through the murders, and they have interviews and live coverage and footage and, from back in the day and all that stuff, is the idea that Manson was an experiment from the CIA of mind control. And there's this guy that has followed this story for decades, written books on it, so on and so forth. And there's this whole group of people that have studied this for years. Now, can you imagine if that is actually true?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of they're like sleeper agents, and sleeper agents are real. I mean, have you seen the movie MK Ultra?
Well, is that what you were talking about, Chris? I didn't even know that was a movie.
Yeah, no, that was the name of the actual project, I believe.
Yeah, but then I think they named the movie that also.
Yeah.
Sounds like a beer.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Little Ultra.
That's as soon as you said that, I'm like, that sounds delicious right now. An MK Ultra. I could go for an MK Ultra. So you buy into that, right? That mind control could be actually taking place?
Yeah, because I think it's like sleeper agents, right? For MK Ultra. Isn't that what the basis was, Chris?
Originally, yeah. I mean, this is, where CIA they did all types of stuff. Like they would build out rooms where you'd have a two-way mirror. They would have different people from other parts of the world. They would be in the States, right? So people would take them out, have a good time, hook them up with a prostitute, but they're actually slipping them stuff and taking, doing all types of mind control type experiments with them and being. I mean, it was crazy, but it was all based around brainwashing. It was a human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the U.S. CIA to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during this type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, people use brainwashing to lose weight, right?
Mm.
I mean, go to
Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic, right?
So apparently, the narrative behind the Manson murders was that they were committed to implicate the Black Panthers and ignite a race war.
Mm-hmm. That's the theory, because that was Manson's MO, right? They'd write pigs on the wall. They would.
Yep, and we lost him again.
Not me.
Let's see what kind of cool stuff he's got to say that we won't hear.
Right. Yeah, he'll catch up with us.
You look great, JB.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps doing that.
There he is.
So that was kind of part of it, to start the race war and go after the Black Panthers by leaving that kind of stuff afterwards. Yeah, sure. But those murders, like the Sharon Tate murders, I mean, they were horrific. I did not know the step-by-step of the murders until I watched this documentary. I mean, we were talking about home invasions in the other day's episode. I mean, they got into the house, probably Brandon, because they thought that they could leave the door open, like your theory, like, oh, it's no big deal. It's a Friday night or whatever night it is. You can leave the door open, not knowing that crazy people are coming in. All they had were knives. Well, no, they had a gun. They did have a gun. They had like a revolver gun, and they came in and they took them to different rooms. They beat them, sliced them up, like poked them a million times, ran them down in the yard. That was another thing. One of the guys, there were 2 guys and 2 girls, which was kind of weird because Sharon Tate was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Roman Polanski, the director guy, was her fiance. She's hanging out with some dude. Like, nobody talks about that either. Like, I would be a little pissed off about that.
Yeah, it's the 60s in Hollywood, man.
I'd be like, what are you doing with the dude? While I'm not there late at night and partying and pregnant. Anyway, like, one of the dudes that was in the house ran to get out of the house and left the chicks behind. What a dick. Like, why would you do that? Like, when the guy was, they tracked him down outside and they killed him. He was found outside on the lawn. But, you would think that you have 2 guys. Now, granted, one guy had a gun. Like, what kind of pansies are these dudes? You've got Sharon Tate, an upcoming actress who's pregnant. You would think that you would put up some type of fight. It's one dude and 3 chicks? I think that's what it was, right? Am I right on that? Or is there 2 guys and 2 girls? I think it was
2 and 2.
Was it 2 and 2? But either way, take out the guy with the gun first. 2 guys want to. That's the thing. If I ever am in a situation with me outnumbered, I'm going to be very honest with them. And I'm going to say this to them. I'm going to go, who drove? I'm like, why? Well, just answer the question. Who drove tonight? And the guy will raise his hand. All right, what's your name? Billy. All right, Billy, you drove? You're not the one. What does that mean? Look, there's no doubt that you guys are going to win this fight, if not kill me. But I'm going to take one of you with me. But I need to leave one of you guys who drove so you can drive him to the hospital or to the coroner. So I'm leaving you, Billy. Don't worry. I'm not going to touch you. But the other 3 guys, one of you guys are going to die tonight. I'm just telling you that right now. You're going to get me when it's all said and done, but I'm just going to be on one of you and you're going to die. I learned this from Kurt Russell in Tombstone, where he had the gun up to the dude's head and he says, you might get me in a bum rush, but I'm going to turn your head into a canoe.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. That's a great line, but it's a great strategy, right? It's like, okay, look, you guys are going to get me. I know I'm outnumbered. I'm done. But one of you have to understand, one of you is not going to be around any longer. If you're okay with that, then that's fine. These murders, dude, these 2 dudes were pansies. They ran out of the house while the Manson crew killed them, poked them. Just it was fascinating. Absolutely fascinating documentary. Mind control. Manson, crazy as he came across and as he was, no doubt, this was all because of CIA mind control, according to this documentary on Netflix. You buy into that, Ben?
I mean, maybe. There's a lot of weird stuff that the CIA has been into over the years.
Yeah, they like
Excuse me, McCarthy put all kinds of weird stuff. Not McCarthy. The guy in drag.
Roosevelt.
No,
No,
the
I'm
guy
sorry.
that ran the CIA.
Yeah,
What was his name? Anyway,
Hoover.
he started all kinds of weird programs,
Oh.
and some of them still exist. I'm certain.
So,
yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if he was a pawn.
yeah. Brandon, you buy into it, right? I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, they put crack in the black communities and they deal drugs with the cartel, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, look at that. Coke and Coca-Cola. Yeah, it's all big work. I'm telling you. All right, let's welcome to the BS podcast our good friends from the Aurora Law Firm. First, it's the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora. We're gonna have a bunch of screens. We're Brady bunching this bitch up. I don't think we've ever had 6 before. Buddy's gonna have a field day on this. And there he is. He is the stud of the internet, from what I understand. It is Pew Pew. How you guys doing?
Howdy.
Hi.
Doing well yourself.
Good. Manny, you know where you want to start with this, don't you, right?
I don't see where we have a choice.
Okay.
Can we mention how Manny looks like a convict right now? Fresh
Manny,
out.
Are you in your orange jumpsuit? All right, Pew Pew. Manny joined the live stream the other week, which was really odd. It was nice. I was very happy. Just shoots me a text out of the blue. Like, what time are you doing this live stream? I want to jump on. And I think the sole reason is he needed to talk to somebody because he was curious about, you going out on this date with this girl you met on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us who this is and how you met her.
Well, she's a girl I met on the internet. We went out, we got some drinks, had some good conversation. It was a nice evening.
Oh, you're a great storyteller, Pew Pew.
That's it.
What
Bullet
app
points.
did you meet her on?
On Hinge.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Less sluts on there.
What was her name?
We're gonna call her Sabrina.
But you can't say her first name?
I'm not gonna say her first name.
Oh, so you're already protective of her.
No, it's not like that. I just, I want to keep her business.
But nobody knows her.
I do.
But barely anybody
Sir.
knows you.
Well, I mean, surely you've got a big enough following. Someone might know her.
Well, somebody's going to track down Sue in Atlanta because
They might.
Sue went out with Pew Pew. It was like, oh, that's slot touch on Hinge.
It was
Okay.
you.
So how old was Sabrina?
She's 24.
Okay. And what did Sabrina look like?
She is a short brunette.
Mm-hmm. And what was she looking for on the old Hinge?
Evidently a night of good conversation and a couple cocktails.
What did her profile say?
I mean, looking for a relationship, don't they all?
No, I don't know. I'm not on Hinge. I've been married for 13 years. So you're going to have to explain it to me.
No, I mean, she said she was looking for a relationship. I'm out looking for a relationship, and there we found ourselves.
Manny, how does this guy tap into people to get information and he doesn't give it? How does he knows what I'm asking? How does he not give me the who, what, when, where, why, and house? How is this not happening?
He probably wants to see this girl again, and if it gets out that there's a quote Sabrina out there, somebody could just go on Hinge and look for a Sabrina. It wouldn't be that hard to figure it out. So,
Yeah,
So here's my question. Have you already made plans to see this girl again, and that's why you're being protective?
I have. We're going to go see a movie next week.
Okay.
but here's the thing. You don't have to be, this doesn't have to be a negative. Like, I'm just asking questions. You can put her over huge. Obviously, the date went well. We're just curious about how well the date went.
Now, I'm giving you answers. Yeah, what's she looking for? She's looking for a relationship.
You're not giving
the answer you're looking for, Jason.
When's the last time she had a relationship?
I don't know.
I don't know that yet. Okay.
Ooh.
What did y'all talk about on the first date? Just like drawings and work?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about work. We talked about music, movies, that sort of stuff.
What does she do?
She's a scientist.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
That's-
Was there any physical motivation after
Well,
the first date?
there was a little chemistry, we'll say.
Look, chemist. Okay.
Ah,
Cloak and dagger. Sabrina wasn't giving it up on the first date, JB.
You're asking if she touched his Bunsen burner. That's-
Touch a Pepe.
All right, so little Sabrina, you take her out to dinner, yes?
No, we went out and got some drinks. We went to this little tapas place, but they got good cocktails.
Topless?
That's what I thought.
Tapas. Small Spanish plates.
Oh,
No, I didn't take her to the titty bar.
You about to say bold move, Pew Pew. I like it.
He won't tell us anything about this girl, but he says pity. All right. So you meet her at this little tapas place, and were you texting her and say like I'm here? Were you there first? Was she there first?
I hit every single red light on my way there. She beat me by a few minutes, but she was outside. I walked up, we said hello, went in and started chatting.
That's interesting. So, because I haven't been on a date, in a very long time. Did you shake hands? Did you hug?
There was a hug.
It was a hug.
Oh, a hug. Okay. Right out the gates. Did you do a junk bump? Junk bump?
No.
Good question. Good question.
No, it wasn't a middle school dance type of situation.
And Manny's being quiet because legally, as Pew Pew's boss, he can't answer or ask any of these questions. So I'm doing it all for him. Was the hug? Did you leave room for the Holy Ghost, or was it in fairly tight?
Jason, Jesus always has his place.
Okay,
Make
good.
no mistake.
Okay, so it was that awkward, like.
Well, Jesus is very skinny. Don't worry.
Oh, skinny Jesus. Okay, good. Like on the cross, Jesus. Okay, I got you. All right. Okay, excellent. So you have a nice conversation. Was she a good conversationalist?
Yeah, no, she was really easy to talk to, really fun to talk to. She made me laugh. I made her laugh.
Ooh, tell me something. Tell me something she said that made you laugh.
I mean, she didn't have any, hot one-liners that be good for radio. It wasn't that type of thing.
I say women and funny usually don't go together, but
okay. Well, you can't. You're explaining this date as you both made each other laugh, but you can't tell me what made you laugh. So it wasn't very memorable.
Well, so, for instance, at one point we were having a conversation about the Beatles and, some of her observational humor about John Lennon, I thought was pretty fun. I don't know that I could do it justice. I'm not necessarily the vessel for that message, but made me
She's
laugh.
a very old soul.
Observational humor.
Was she 70?
She was 75, actually. Real good looking for her age.
And when I say we went out
anti-aging cream, it's been good.
When I say we went out to drinks, we actually just did shots of Metamucil.
I mean, you got to keep the regular BMs, right? It's good for the body, good for the soul.
How long did this date last?
Maybe 3.5 hours, 4 hours, something like that.
Wow. You, of course, picked up the tab.
I did.
Did she offer?
No, I did something real slick. She went off to the bathroom. I got the waiter over. I, handled it. Wow. She came back, and it was all taken care of.
Never been done before.
We know the date's ending. I gotta pee.
Yeah.
Alligator arms come out too at that point. Let me reach for it. I can't get it.
Now, when you left, were there plans to? Was this on a weeknight or a weekday?
Weekday.
Okay. Were there plans to? Hey, you want to come back to my house and watch some documentary on the Beatles or listen to the White Album? No.
I had court in the morning. I had things to do.
Oh, did you tell her that?
I did.
Did you say something like, I'd invite you over for a nightcap and a listening, party for the White Album, but I've got court tomorrow. Did you say that?
Well, it wasn't quite like that. One thing that I think is a little preventative to that sort of move, depending on where the date is I live really far away from where the cute girls live. And so it's not, quite a hop, skip, and a jump up to my place.
What, did she see your license plate? She like your lawman tag?
No, she didn't see it. I try to keep that one under wraps for a little bit. I've been made fun of for it before.
Good call. Good call. That's a smart move. And so did you check on her, make sure she got home?
I did. She made it home safe and sound.
Mm-hmm. What was her reply? Safe and sound, had a good time, want to see you again? What was her reply?
Something to that effect.
You don't remember?
I think that might have been exactly what it was.
Okay, so
is Sabrina a conservative woman? Did she wear anything that was revealing or, a lovely Southern pattern?
No, it was like a sort of an asymmetrical sweater, a little shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah, a little shoulder, a little ankle too.
Something to titillate, if you will.
Like the ankles.
Hey,
what did he got for the ankles?
A little anguish. You were in a burqa?
Got to feel her wrist. See if she's a sturdy woman.
All right, Pew Pew, I'm going to ask you a very personal question regarding this date you went out on with this internet girl. Okay, and I need you to answer honestly. And this happens to every guy. While sitting across from her having drinks, was there ever a time that you got horny and in your mind you're thinking of dirty thoughts about a certain part of her body?
No, listen, Jason, I was too busy looking at her eyes.
Oh,
That's
dear God.
bullshit. That's bullshit. Every guy, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's my answer, Jason. I'm sticking to it.
What color are her eyes?
They're blue.
Okay.
Very like deep, ravishing sort of blue.
No, they're not. He wouldn't have followed it up with a detail if they were blue. That is a lie. That
He's
is
really being careful in case she sees this right now.
Manny, am I right? When you followed up with the detail, it's a lie. Am I right?
You're trying too hard to prove the point.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I could so work at the Aurora Law Firm. Dude, I would crush as a lawyer.
I would have believed it if you said, I don't remember.
Thank you.
Jason, I don't know what to tell you. It's the truth.
No, you are.
Just because you're confident doesn't make you right, Jason.
No, what makes me right is that I'm right. That's what makes me right. And your boss agrees with me. That's what makes me really right. Right, Manny? You agree?
Every time I've been on a date, I've thought about stuff.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Every guy does, especially if they, did she have nice breasts?
She did.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
and she's wearing a sweater. That's even, the more clothes, the better. Not meant to rhyme, but because you're fantasizing, what's underneath. It's what guys do. I mean, that's just what guys do. So for you to tell me that you're not doing that, you're either A, lying, B, gay. So it's you're not human, because that's what human beings do. I still do that with my wife. I'm still extremely attracted to my wife. So I just
Jason, I'm not telling you I wasn't attracted to her. I'm just saying I was listening to her. I was paying attention to her stories. My mind
He's
wasn't
saying her
wandering.
breast
I was
had big,
living in the moment.
ravishing eyes on the breasts.
Yeah, I was looking at her eyes.
I was looking in her soul, Jason.
Yeah, right at the heart.
I was looking right through her left heart. That's what I was. All right. So what's the plans for the next date? What are you guys going to do? When are you going?
Go see a movie sometime next week.
Ooh.
I hear there's a good Manson documentary on Netflix you can check out.
Yeah, I would. And I love the theater, man, but there just ain't nothing out there that's worth it. I would.
No movies or no theaters.
No movies.
Movies.
All the movies blow. It's not like it used to be. It's
Maybe
just,
so.
movie
I did
ticket
movie
costs
this week.
you
I was thinking about checking that out.
What movie?
Something about a superhero or some such thing.
well, Manny, what's he talking about?
He's talking about Novocaine, no superhero, just a guy that can't feel pain.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Randy
I've-
Quaid's son, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
I actually saw it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you go to the theater. I like the theater too, but it's I mean, you could have her over to the Pew Pew Palace of Love, man, and it'll be on Prime in 2 weeks. That's even better. I'm just telling you. So do you think this one's the one?
We'll see, Jason.
Yeah. Manny, what's with this kid, man? He ain't giving me anything. I'm trying for you, bro.
Well, we teach them to get information from people. If you don't want to share your information, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's got political aspirations. You can tell with the way he answers his questions.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because he knows this is going to live forever, and I could bury him if something happens.
Right? If a lady finds out and doesn't like it, then it screws up his movie night and future nights after that.
She might
He's
be
got
a
this whole
listener,
Southern
Jason.
Baptist Carrie Elvis thing going on here that I'm kind of digging.
Yeah, I just here's the thing, Pew Pew, is honesty is always the best policy.
I've
And
been nothing but honest with you.
no, even you talking about honesty sounds like a lie. Like there's you're the worst, you're the most condescending, worst liar ever.
Nothing I have said to you has been a lie, Jason. And that is the truth.
God, are you a religious person?
I grew up very religious.
That wasn't the question.
Today, not so much.
I believe that. Your moral compass is very low because you're not spitting out the truth. So I'll ask Manny a question. Manny, what color is your shirt you're wearing?
It's a very interesting color that came from the Madagascar region of this and that. No.
That's a pew-pew answer, right? Versus orange, the honesty, orange. Jesus.
You know the old saying, it's not a lie if you believe it.
But I don't. I'm too good to believe it.
If I'm saying it and I believe it.
Oh, well, he doesn't believe it. He thinks he's jobbing me out, and he thinks he's the
he
only.
believes it. He's a Renaissance man. He's very open-minded. He's not like our generation that you're just thinking with the wrong parts. At some point, at least you size it up and you think about it before you move on to the eyes.
That's not a compliment, Pew Pew. He's not giving you a compliment.
I'm a modern man, Jason.
No, you're not.
I'm a modern man.
Ben is a
Mature.
modern man. My man in the white tank top with the tattoos. That's a modern man right there. That's as modern of a man as you can get. That's Ben the bald
Modern caveman.
He's a modern caveman. Did you talk to this girl Sabrina the same way you're talking to me right now?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure if I know what you mean, Jason.
Well, first off, by saying her name after the sentence, that would be the first thing.
Jason, this is how I talk.
He's cracking. I can see he's cracking. He's cracking.
I don't know what you...
Manny, I'm going to give you little cardboard signs that to see what I'm getting through to him. He's cracking right now, right? Is he not? He's running out of juice.
It's clear he's got a thing for this girl, so he doesn't want to screw it up. Maybe 3 or 4 podcasts from now, we'll be talking about a lot of other things.
We'll get her on the phone one of these days.
And you remember, you almost got him on the phone, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When we called you during the live stream, did you contemplate whether to pick up or not? Or are you like, hell no?
No, I didn't even check my phone. I was so locked in on what we were talking about.
Bullshit.
It's not. It was in my pocket. I let it ring.
That is not true because it could be your boss. You are checking your phone 24/7 and you saw that it was me. I know
Jason,
you checked it.
I promise you. I didn't check it. You keep it cute. I've told you nothing but the truth. You just don't want to believe it.
The more you tell me that you're telling me the truth, the more I don't believe you.
Okay.
We go back to tone and intent.
Tone and intent. It's always about
the bigger
tone.
question, Jason, is if a client would have called and you don't take it because you're on a date. It's like, I totally respect dates. I respect going out with my wife. But if a client calls, you got to take it because that's how you get paid.
Yeah.
So that's a talk we're going to have soon.
I'm buried. I just buried yourself. So would you like to change your answer, Pew Pew, and say, yes, I did see your call, but I knew that I could call you later because I was so locked in on this date. Would you have the opportunity now to change your answer without any recourse?
I'll change my answer, Jason. I checked it. I ignored you. It's all on me.
Yeah, if it was someone important, like a client, he would have answered.
So what you just did there is showed that you have lied at least once during this conversation. So that means if you lied once, you've lied more than once. See what I did there, man?
He lied because he can say he didn't check it contemporaneously. He might have checked it shortly after.
He didn't check
the phone hung up. So technically he can say he's right. You know, the definition of is, right, Jason? I mean, come on. We get paid by the word here.
He said that he said that he did not check the phone. He just was locked in.
He didn't tell you when he did not check it.
Well, I knew what he meant. And that's what's important. So what's the plans for the next day? Where are you going?
We're going to go see a movie.
Oh, that's right. You said that. I'm sorry. You're going to do dinner and a movie, or dinner at the movie, like the place in Marietta, which is cool?
Well, we still haven't chosen. We have chosen neither the theater nor the movie. So it might be a dinner and a show type of thing. It might not. Find out. We're still in talks.
Gotcha.
You've given her an out.
Negotiations, I think, is what you meant to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are we hoping? Are we going to try? Are we going to go in for the kiss on this date? Is this the date number 2? You do that?
We might.
He might not have said if he did on the last one, Jason. He skirted that issue pretty good.
Okay. He simply gave up the information of hug.
Yeah. We don't know if chemistry included tongue. Yeah.
I'll ask, but I know the answer. Did you guys kiss on the first date?
I never kiss and tell, Jason.
See?
Yeah, the dinner date and the movie, it's a scary combo. You better do the dinner after, because if you go to the dinner and it screws your stomach up like one or the other, it's going to be real awkward. Because then you got to sit through like a 3-hour movie.
I feel that. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Well, you have IBS, don't you?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had IBS. Okay, my bad.
You're making shit up now.
Literally.
Office would be the way to go if you had IBS.
No, I really did. I thought he had stomach issues.
Pack the Imodium. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Have you ever seen Along Came Sally? Along Came
Polly.
Polly. I was there. I was getting close. Along came Polly with Ben Stiller. She's got IBS, and he's trying to impress Jennifer Aniston, and she takes him to this Indian restaurant, and he's just sweating.
Nice to wipe with a ferret.
Are you okay? He's like, I'm fine. I'm gonna go use the restroom. The guy's in this one stall. He's like, I'm gonna be here all night, dude. I could just see that happen in a Pew Pew. That would be a great story. Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good time. And she seems like from the lies you told me, seems like she's a very nice girl. So that's pretty cool. When do you introduce her to the Mad Dog? Bring her in the office.
Maybe the next office party. We'll see.
What is that?
See if they make it that long. You can't just go all in like that. It's like, hey, come meet my parents. That's kind of weird. In today's world, nobody gets married. They take their time. Give it 3 or 4 dates. See if they can tolerate each other. Maybe hear somebody fart by accident. Get all the reality out.
What are you talking about?
When I dated before I got married, it's like nobody farted for a year, and suddenly it starts happening.
Starts popping off.
I've never done that in 13 years with Rachel. I will not. I don't talk. I don't even like that word. Brandon knows. I just don't. Not my.
I can't tooted in front of your wife.
Nope,
never. Probably in your sleep.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
And she's nice enough not to bring it up, but no, never, ever, ever would do that. See, I subscribe to a different theory, Manny. That's kind of the old school thinking of, it takes, so many dates before you introduce them to your parents, so many dates until you sleep with the other person. In this fast-paced world that we live in, you're wasting time. Relationships are made firmly off of, a couple things, and one being sex/chemistry. If you don't have that, then the relationship is not going to work. So sleep with the person on the first date just to see if you have the chemistry. And if you don't have the chemistry and the sex is not good, then it's probably not going to work out. But at least that on the first date. Yeah. You save money going down the road. And the same goes for meeting the parents or people that are in your bubble. You want that person to meet those people as fast as possible so they can see things that you might not be seeing. Again, saving time.
Well, that's why you don't have
like a true father, guys. Smoking like a true dad. I want to see what happens when that happens to from his lovely daughter. As Dad, I slept with him on the first date.
But if you sleep with them on the first date, then the sex blinds all the other problems they got. You're like, oh, I can get past that. Sex is great. But if you wait a little bit and you get to know him, you're like, damn, this bitch annoying as hell. And then you just drop it, So, and with the parents, I'll tell you a story about a friend I had. He dated this girl. He took her to meet his parents 3 days after they were dating. A month and a half later, they were pregnant. They went and told his parents. And then a week later, they're like, oh, we got an abortion. And then his mom was all freaked out about it. So it's best not to tell your parents anything, honestly.
You're really going to marry the girl that you slept with on the first date?
I did.
Oh, did you?
All right. Did you not date her before you had your official first date?
No, I mean, we never went out on an official date. We actually never, we didn't go out on an official date until we slept together. So like mine and Rachel's story is a little different, a little odd. She was the GM of a restaurant. She came into the radio station, love at first sight for me. And they had hired me to do an appearance like a week later. I went out there, talked to her, even though she was working, and we flirted. And then we were going out afterwards, and some of the girls that worked there were interested in the kid, and they wanted to come out. We were going downtown Orlando, and they pretty much told me they wanted.
Assaulted on Orange Avenue, did you not?
Yeah. I mean, she R-word me. I mean, she was all over me, and I turned her down because I knew that Rach was the one. And then so a week later, Rach was bartending in this VIP suite at Orlando Calling, that concert that was here that one year. And I was at the concert, and I went up and met up with her when she was getting off of work. We took an Uber back to my condo, got it on, and we're inseparable ever since. I I think our actually, I know our official first date was Bob Saget, and it was at the Hard Rock Live, or first the Hard Rock Cafe, and then the Hard Rock Live, and we were with two of our friends. Her ex-boyfriend showed up because he was a waiter at the Hard Rock. That was awkward and weird. And he started crying. And then we went and saw, and then I went to the Hard Rock, because she used to work at Hard Rock too back in the day. Then we went to Hard Rock Live to see Bob and ran into another one of her ex-boyfriends, but that was cool because he's now gay. And then we went over to the Hard Rock Hotel because we were going to go hang out with Bob. And we got off the boat and walked through the back area, that green area where people get married, where I got married to my first wife, walked right through where I took my wedding vows. And I told her, not a good move, but I was like, I'm going to tell her this. And if she still stays with me, it's good. We go in, we hang out with Bob, watch him do his wings. And then we were inseparable ever since. But that was our very first date. That was our very first date.
Right, but you've already been married before, so everything's a little accelerated. This is the first time he's meeting this girl versus you sort of kind of hung out with her for a while.
Okay, I'll give you
the
that.
vibe and those kinds of things. Plus, you've been married before. I don't know if she'd been married before or not. So you're in an advanced program to where you guys are more like, let's just see what it's about versus being in your 20s and feeling things out. So I give the young man credit. My 24-year-old daughter was like, Dad, I screw everybody on the first date. Maybe not the most proudest moment of my life.
Do not tell me that. I don't care if you do. Do not tell me. I don't want you to, but do not tell me either way or the other.
Yeah, don't listen to this podcast, honey.
All right. Well, Pew Pew, I don't know why. I feel like you thought I was coming at you in a negative way, but I'm not. I'm happy for you. I'm inquisitive. I'm curious. Your boss has a lot of questions that he can't legally ask you because he's your boss. So I was trying to do the Lord's work, and I think we got nowhere, to be honest with you. So, but one way or the other, I'm very happy for you.
Sabrina sounds lovely and enigmatic.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Someone who was listening to my story.
Well, your story's fiction, so it doesn't matter. Here, let's make a deal. Can we make a deal? Yes.
What kind of deal you offering?
When I say yes or no, answer damn it, yes or no. Instead of this.
Jason, would you agree to a deal without knowing any of the terms?
If you asked me, yes, because I trust you.
Oh, Jason, then do I have a deal for you?
I would like in on it because I trust you. I believe you have my best interests at heart. So yes, I would say yes right out of the gates. But that's just me because I'm such a trusting person. Anyway,
what's your deal?
If you make it to, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one, okay? If you make it to 4 dates, 4 dates, so 3 more with this Sabrina, then we can have her on the show.
I will ask her.
I thought you were going to say if you make it a second base.
No, I'm not interested. And I'll tell you this much: I will not ask any inappropriate sexual questions.
Well, all I can tell you, I took a couple semesters of contracts, and you can't contract someone who's not party to the deal. So I'll ask her, but I can't promise her on the show, Jason.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Right? Thank you.
Man, he's so proud right now.
Yeah.
Look at my boy go.
Glad you spent $15,000 on those classes.
This dude's not human, Brandon. He's not human. I can only imagine. I swear to God, I'm going to find out when your next date's going to take place. And I'm going to fly or drive up to Atlanta. And I'm going to go incognito. I'm going to go in costume. You're not even going to see me. I just want to listen to this conversation that you're having with her. Like, do you answer directly to her? Like when she asks you a question, have you ever had butt play with another man? How do you answer that? Do you say, no, I haven't, but thanks for asking? Or, well, all right. Like, what is butt play in your opinion? Because I can tell you right now, I've got a butt and I've played. I spent 2 years in college taking butt classes.
Don't we all have a butt and don't we all play, Jason?
I took my joke. So yeah, just 4 dates, then, okay, here's the deal. If you make it to 4 dates, will you ask her in a convincing way, to come on the show?
I promise you I will do that.
what I just said. I gotta go through all my bases here with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Manny, blur out her face and change the voice if she's worried about shark fame coming by being on the show.
I don't know if we can do all that. It's too much. I don't have time for that post stuff.
Do like a Vice documentary, the type of voice changer.
Look, I like you. I like you a lot. I just would like to know who you're hanging around with, make sure you're in good company. Because I think, as an older, more experienced guy, I can, point out some of these red flags. I might meet her and you might be in love with her. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, what are you doing? She's a freaking sociopath. Crazy right now.
He sleeps with people on the first date. Stop it.
No, then I would say marriage. It's just like my theory on marriages. Everyone should get divorced once. Everyone. And I know there's an exception to rule. There's an exception to every rule. No one keeps their first car. Why would you keep your first wife?
My first car. I'm about to put a new engine in it.
Except for Brandon.
I would really hope no one T-bones my first wife.
Like I said, there's an exception to the rule, but 99.9% everyone should get divorced once because it's very educational. I would not be as happy as I am in my life right now if I did not learn all the mistakes that I made in my first marriage.
Or you just don't get married so quick.
Well, alternatively, Jason,
that's a big mistake.
I was
T-bones his wife.
No, I was 30.
It's going to be a divorce.
I was 30.
I miss my first car. I've never had a car I enjoyed as much as my first car.
Me too.
Great, Jason.
Right, exactly. It's a memory. I wish I could find my first car. I would buy it in a second. But no, my point is no one keeps it.
But why yearn for a second car when the first one can be so perfect?
Then why did you get rid of it?
I got T-boned, Jason. The thing was destroyed.
Okay, well, there you go. That's why. You got T-boned. No one keeps their first car. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We just wasted like 30 minutes asking pew-pew questions, to be honest with you. Manny, how's everything going at the Aurora Law Firm?
It's going just fine. We have an interesting new case where a young man is charged with murder for selling his friend some drugs that apparently had too much fentanyl in it, and the kid overdosed. So they charged him with murder for providing it to him.
Damn right.
But it's not like he knew what was in it when he bought it from his person and you're just sharing it with your friend. It's a bit harsh to say you deserve a life sentence for sharing drugs with somebody. But that's where we are in today's world.
So are you're not denying that he should be punished. You're just arguing that it should be a lesser punishment.
Yeah, it should be a drug possession case. I mean, you could die from drugs in any different situation. So anytime 2 or 3 people are using drugs together, if one ODs, the other 2 should go to prison for life. It's a bit harsh. I mean, unless you put the chemicals in there and knew the risks versus just a guy that bought some stuff from, so-and-so down the street, and then me and you decided to share it and you used too much or you got a bad batch, I'm going to prison for life. I mean, I have a problem with that. I'm not saying possessing drugs is right, at least at this point under the law, but is anybody with me on this one? It seems a bit harsh. I mean, have you ever shared a joint or something? What if it was laced with something you didn't know it and they gagged and died on it? You going to prison for life?
Okay, so the FAFO I agree with. If you're gonna do it, you're at risk of.
Don't you assume the risk of the drugs you take? I mean, why is it the other person's fault? We know fentanyl's everywhere. There could be a possibility, but it's the risk you take when you choose to do this.
Well, let me answer your question. So accountability, I agree with. If you're taking the drug, you're buying the drug, that is on you. You die, that is on you. But I do agree. I said this before this became a thing many years ago. If you want to start to curb the drug problem, you start holding the drug dealers accountable. All right. So, and this administration is big on that. So it is an uphill battle for you on this one. They should have some responsibility. Now, if you can't prove that they knew fentanyl was in it, I mean, did he know that fentanyl was in the drug?
No, it's like, let's hypothetically say Brandon goes out to a source and buys some drugs. How is Brandon going to know what's in those drugs? You bought some cocaine. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm taking them too. I don't want to die. I don't want to take fentanyl.
Nobody wants to die, and you're with your friends and you're sharing this stuff. It's not like you're the one that cut it and mixed it and said, I'm making a competent choice to say, I'm mixing this with fentanyl because it'll give a higher thing and I'll get more money when I sell it.
I understand that, but did
If
he
he's
know?
willing to roll on the guy he bought it from, then maybe you got grounds to pass the buck to the
But
other
it's
guy.
not like when you buy it from somebody, you're like, this is John Smith, date of birth, such and such, social security number, so-and-so, he can be found here. I mean, it's a guy you text with a phone number that doesn't necessarily always pop up. They have different burner phones. You just call a guy. It's not like you know his address.
It's like if me and Jason are driving in a car and I'm driving, someone T-bones them and I get charged with vehicle manslaughter.
You would.
Why would I get charged? The dude ran into me, killed you.
Your car. Right, Manny?
Would I?
Well, if they'd say you're speeding or somehow caused it, then yes, you could do it. But that's kind of a choice that you make. When you're driving, you're choosing to go a certain speed or make a left-hand turn or try to run the yellow light or do any of that stuff or drink and drive. In this case, I bought something. It's like saying if I went to Walmart and bought a defective chair and the spring shot up my friend's butt and killed him and impaled him, am I responsible for buying that chair?
That's called butt play.
As you do. I don't know. The argument on the other side of this, to play devil's advocate, the argument would be if somebody goes out there and shoots somebody with a gun, do you charge the gun store that they bought it from? Right. And that never happens. So
it's against the law. I mean, the legislature recently just gave them immunity to the gun manufacturers, even though a lot of them are specifically branded for those kinds of things. Like the ones, we send millions of guns to Mexico, like the drug dealers and the cartels. I think 85% of their weapons come from the US.
Yeah.
And they have Mexican engraving on the guns, like the El Diablo and this and that. I mean, we specifically marketed to those people to go across, but they have immunity. Mexico is suing us right now for the massive number of guns that we ship down there. So we can complain that they're sending us fentanyl through China or whatever, but we make it worse by arming them.
Yeah. Did not know that. So do you think that you'll win this case?
Well, not if I have you on the jury, because the question is, you should be responsible for what you did, but we're really taking it multiple steps down the line. It's like the butterfly effect,
Yeah.
Holding this kid responsible and putting him for prison for the rest of his life at age 19. Is that going to stop anything?
So what about instead of him being charged with murder, what if it's like a negligent homicide type deal where he only does 10, 15 years as opposed to life, but he still has a pretty harsh sentence because he was involved in the death? How's that play?
I just don't think the homicide can be linked to you unless you had some knowledge about the dangerousness of the drugs. All the drugs are going to be dangerous. Just because you didn't buy it.
There's your knowledge. If all drugs are dangerous and you have drugs, then you have knowledge that there's potential that you're giving this somebody something bad.
Well, the person taking it assumes the risk of these kinds of things.
Personal
so you should be charged with drug possession. That's why they are drug possession charges. The impact of drugs generally is not going to be a good outcome of this stuff, right? So the point is,
I'm having this conversation as somebody that did a lot of drugs previously. Thank God I don't now, but I could have been in those shoes. So,
right. If you ever had anybody die and you brought some stuff to the party, are you liable for triple murder if those people OD it? What if it's completely safe cocaine? They just use too damn much. That's still your fault because you gave them the cocaine or shared the cocaine that they died with.
I think
there's a lot of it.
I think you
supplied it. I think you got some.
Yeah, I think you have some responsibility. I don't think you have 100% of the responsibility, but still
think, go back to the gun case. I supplied you a gun because I can sell it to you. Chances are the only thing a gun can do is shoot at somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't be unreasonable to say somebody could die from being shot in the leg or the arm or wherever they bleed out. The point is, people use drugs recreationally. If I'm not the actual manufacturer of the drugs that I know what's being put in there, do any of you hypothetically that have ever used drugs before, gotten out your little vial and tested the drugs to see the purity and say, no, this is dangerous. I'm not going to use this type.
Hell no. You give it to the least favorite buddy in the group.
Here you go, try this
but then you're still on the hook for murder.
Yeah. You get the first bump, dude. Just tell us how it is.
I have returned drugs before.
That's funny.
100%.
The way the world is right now. It's the blame game. And, you got kids that are going shooting up schools. Their parents are going to jail. You've got drug dealers that Matthew Perry's guy, Michael Jackson's guy, they're all going to jail. And that's kind of the MO of what the world is now in hopes of stopping those people to do it. I like the idea. And
Well, I don't disagree with that. Jason, if I'm the doctor giving you drugs, as far as that goes, I know the side effects and the impact of it and how much I'm supposed to give you, and it could potentially kill you. That's why you sign 1 million waivers when you do anything at the doctor's office. But if I'm just out there, what if I go buy some peanut butter that's laced with bird flu or whatever, and I give it to my kid and they die? Am I responsible for it? I mean, I'm just buying peanut butter, aka cocaine or whatever.
I think also another thing that matters is I think the difference between a commercial transaction, right? I'm selling you drugs laced with something versus I come to the party, I'm sharing, some bumps with my buddies at the party. And that's the situation we have here.
Now I'm going to take that clip when you run for office one day, and I'm going to plaster it all over the internet.
I want to do some bumps with my buddies, man.
This guy's running for office. I'm just going to take the bumps and give them to my buddies at the parties.
But he didn't tell you what the bump is.
Sharing is caring.
Oh, I'll insert cocaine. All right, let me get to some of these legal questions for you. Again, anytime you have a question, legal question for the Mad Dog and Pew Pew from the Aurora Law Firm, theauroralawfirm.com, get them to me. You can do it any way you want. You can do it on social media. You can live post it out to everybody, the whole world. You can DM me. You can email me. Come over to my house. You can text me. You can call me. Just get me the questions, all right? And you can get all my information on thebaileyshow.com. All right, good ones this week. First question for the Mad Dog and Pew Pew with the Aurora Law Firm. Hey, Mad Dog, Jim from Orlando was a diehard before a two-peer, so I go back to the Buckethead days. Quick legal question for you guys. I took my kid to get his haircut, and to make a long story short, they cut my kid's ear. It was bleeding pretty bad. They apologized up and down for it, but I'm still pissed. Now, they gave us a free haircut, which I accepted. Because I took the free haircut, can I not sue them?
You can sue them. You didn't sign anything saying you're waiving your rights as far as that goes. The only thing you have to do is prove some amount of negligence. If it was an accidental thing, at some point we need to take it easy on the litigation, but the barbershop will have insurance. So if there's some permanent damage to the ear or you have some medical bills, you can file a claim against them. It won't be the barbershop paying. It'll be their insurance company paying, and you can, be made whole as far as that goes. But if it's negligence is what you need. So if they're like listening to the radio or talking to other people while they're still cutting and you go, whoop, snip, you absolutely have a case. The question is just going to be the amount of damage because I don't know how badly the ear was hurt. So if there's just a little bit of blood or that kind of stuff and you needed a stitch or two, yeah. Is there something there? Absolutely. Are you going to be buying a new boat next week? No.
How much do you think you can get for a little cut?
We have to sort of know how bad is the damage. Like a piece of the ear gone.
Just say a little cut. Just say a little cut that was bleeding a lot. Scared the kid. Kid's got
at that point, is it really worth the litigation? I would just ask them to cover any medical bills, assuming they had any. I assume they went to a doc in a box or something and got it cleaned up.
Karen's going to go after everything. So how much can she actually get out of these people?
Right. That's what they do.
Right. You can always find a lawyer to make a claim against the insurance company and find out what's out there. And I'm sure they give you something.
Pain and suffering?
Is it worth it, to go through that aggravation?
What? Pew Pew, you're laughing. You think this is funny. This kid's bleeding everywhere. See?
No, I mean, but I very much concur with Manny. I mean, if we're talking about a nick on the ear, rub some dirt in it, move on.
Oh, on it.
Take your free haircut.
Get infected. Yeah.
Give the kid a Mr. Potato Head and some masking tape. Go about your day.
So
they need to toughen up, right, Jason? As you used to say, this is the pussification of America.
That's right.
No, I don't say that word. That word drives me insane. Look, I didn't say any. I had no opinion on this thing. I'm just asking the questions from this guy. Pew Pew's the tough guy. He's like, kids all bleeding everywhere. He's got PTSD. Never wants a haircut ever again. Pew Pew's like, rub some dirt in it, get it infected, make it worse. I didn't say anything. That's your guy. I'm just the messenger here. Pew Pew's the guy. He's doesn't care if children bleed, I guess.
Need a little pain every now and then.
Right. I guess so. All right. Next question for the Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, and Pew Pew with the Aurora Law Firm. Big fan of the show, especially when the Mad Dog and Pew Pew are on. I hope you guys answer my question. My parents are getting a divorce, and I'm on my mom's side all the way. My dad is a really bad person and into some legal stuff. If it helps my mom, should I tell the judge about his drug dealing? Will he get arrested for it? I don't want him to get arrested, but I want my mom to get what she wants out of the divorce. He's being a real dick about all of this, and I'm mad. That's a good question. That's interesting.
Well, he's not going to get arrested just because you said he's done something as far as that goes. The question I would have is, you would probably want to tell all this to your mom's lawyer so he can bring it up in court filings as far as who gets custody, if there's some equitable division of the property. I don't recall what state he said he's from, and do it that way. I don't think he'll just get to talk to the judge unless it's a minor and the judge takes him in the back and asks questions. But you're always got to be 100% honest. Don't dance the round. If it's asked, it's fine. But if there's a divorce going on, if the kids are underage, then the drug dealing should be a huge factor in how things work out. And if he wants to help his mom, I would certainly talk to the mother's lawyer first and foremost.
Can you imagine your kids selling you out? Oh my God. It's like, all right, who do you want to live with, mom or dad? Well, because of my dad's major syndicate of drug dealing, I think I want to go live with mom. Oh, really? Tell me more about dad's big drug deals, would you? Dad's in handcuffs, sent away for 15 to 20.
Well, if mom isn't telling about the drug dealing, then somebody likes the lifestyle. So, you're not going to get any alimony if dad's locked up.
Yeah. No alimony behind bars, even if he's got a bankroll.
You got to find it first. It's not like you're putting it in the bank, because then it'd be money laundering on top of everything else.
Yeah. All right. Pew Pew, you want to get in on any of this? What, you just concur again?
Well, what I'll say is, a conversation that I have with clients somewhat regularly is the whole idea of, pressing charges is really just kind of a myth on TV. And once the police get involved, it is out of your hands. And so, you may be mad today, but once the police gets involved, you can't take that back. And the state will proceed how the state chooses, and that is independent of what you want.
Which brings me to my next question. Did you ask this girl that you went out on a date with, who you met on the internet, had she ever been arrested before? That's a great first date question.
She's not been arrested before.
Did you ask that question?
I didn't ask that question, but I asked a question that would have elicited that answer.
And what was that question?
I like to ask people what the most trouble they ever got in was.
And her response was?
Some childhood sneaking out.
Can you honestly?
People are telling you the truth on everything. If I've been arrested for child molestation, I'm probably not going to lead with that, as far as that goes.
Fair enough.
But I'm pretty sure these kids these days have cyber stalked the shit out of everybody that they're dating online. So it's not going to be some psycho killer.
Right.
And people put everything out there about themselves.
And now, for the honesty, before you went out with her, you did a background search.
I Googled her name.
Yeah, you went to Been Verified or Spokio or something, didn't you?
No, I don't use any of that. I don't get much value out of those tools. Like, right. I've tried using it before, and they're just really not.
Well, okay, there you go. So you are that guy.
Well, no, not for dating context, but like for my work, sometimes I have to do a lot of finding people, and I've used a lot of those tools, and only some of them are good. And the ones that are really good, I can't use.
What'd you find on Google with this girl?
I found the website for her lab.
Her lab.
We're learning things.
Scientist.
Sabrina's got a lab.
Yeah, meth lab. Yeah. Breaking Sabrina.
That kind of scientist makes sense.
Breaking Sabrina.
Did you find her social media?
It was all private.
Oh, really?
She didn't add you on FaceBase yet?
No.
Didn't go good.
Have you requested her?
No, I honestly don't use Facebook. I don't know many people.
Young people don't use it, guys. It's like my daughter told me years ago. That's an old people thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unless you're over 40 or something, you're not using Facebook for much of anything.
Okay. What about?
I am in a neighborhood group on Facebook, but that's about it.
That's old as hell.
Yeah, exactly. 40 and over, as I said, as far as that goes. Maybe the marketplace for selling shit, but other than that, they don't use it.
Yeah, Pew Pew's trashing Facebook. He's like, old people are on Facebook. I'm not on that. But my cul-de-sac group here in the neighborhood, we have a Facebook group.
I mean, they post the information there. I gotta go where the info is.
What about the gram? Is she on the Instagram? Did you find her there?
No, she had it was private.
Snapchat?
OnlyFans? Snapchat.
OnlyFans?
Too old for Snapchat, too young for Facebook.
I think you're gonna find her on OnlyFans. Everybody's got skeletons. Look, probability. Out of that date, and be honest, do you believe 100% of everything she told you?
I have no reason not to.
because she's human. You don't. People don't give you 100%, especially on a first date. It's not how you'll find out if you guys get serious. She'll be like, I really didn't tell you the whole story. I'm not saying she blatantly lied, but she just didn't tell you the whole story. That's just how. I mean, you didn't tell the truth. You can't even speak yes or no. So, you're not telling the truth. Nobody tells the truth on the first date.
Can't speak yes.
It's not an interrogation. We're trying to put our best foot forward to get to the second, third, and fourth date where you can ease into all your vices and desires and freaky stuff that you like.
I'm not about to, jump all down her throat. Oh, you're lying to me about this. You're lying to me about that. That's paranoia. That's the wrong energy to bring to a first date.
Yeah, start off being toxic so she's used to it.
You've got a year, all right. You want to see what she's like through all 4 seasons, okay? How she interacts with her family throughout all of these 4 seasons. I think it's worth it. My wife is the same. I went through at least a year and got to know her throughout all of it for an entire year.
You get 60 seconds with me. That's it.
Dude, you got to slow play the crazy. You can't just go right into it. Brandon, back me up here.
Yeah, I dated a girl for 2.5 years and I broke up with her over a boat. She was crazy. And I wasn't going to marry her.
Was that the radio girl?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, not the one you called a whore, but the other one. Called her a whore live on Atlanta airwaves.
Was that because she had a relation with you in the first date?
No, we were going down to the beach with her, and her friend had boyfriends up here in Atlanta.
I did not.
He worded it very badly.
I did not call her a whore. He tells the story making me look horrible. I did not.
If you look up the definition of whore, that's pretty much what you said to her.
I did not. I was very profound. I was very intelligent the way that I verbalized what I was asking her.
Never talk to her again.
That's not on me. That's on you. I was asking her. I don't remember what happened, but I know I did not. I know I would not call a girl a whore on the radio.
It was also the last time that their boyfriends actually talked to them as well.
Yeah, they're definitely not together anymore. I know that.
I was asking questions, which is my job, that everybody was thinking. That's all I was doing.
Well, you let off with it pretty hard. I think all she said was "oof," and then she hung up.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that there wasn't a normal end of the conversation.
It wasn't even a conversation.
Yeah. Do you have the audio of that? I'd like to hear it because I don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it too. I don't know if I have it or not. It might be in my email somewhere.
Yeah.
Brandy or something.
All right. One last question for the Mad Dog Manny Aurora and Pew Pew with the Aurora Law Firm. Yo, Bailey and Mad Dog, Georgia 2P are here. Listen to this. So my new girlfriend just moved in to my house like 2 days after she was with her husband. She's in the process of divorcing, and he comes over and starts stuff with me. He's on the front lawn throwing stuff around and threatening both of us, including my kids. I get everyone in the house, and this guy tries to come in to fight me. The door was already open, so he's walking up the sidewalk screaming and stuff. I waited until his foot stepped into my house. Then I knocked his ass out. One punch, bam! I wasn't arrested, but I'm being told that I could not only be arrested for assault, but be sued for medical bills. Any of that true?
You can always be arrested for anything, but with the fact pattern like this, I would be shocked if anybody arrested you or if there was any validity to a lawsuit, especially if you've got witnesses saying he was threatening you and coming after you and your kids. And they didn't even have to step foot in your house. You could have just been on your yard and gotten away, because all you have to do is have a reasonable apprehension of fear, and you can defend yourself in a proportionate way. In that, if somebody's coming at you with a fist, you don't pull out a gun and blow their head off. But if you punch them back, it's long as it's what they call proportionate, you're totally fine. And then you just don't keep wailing on them on the ground while they're bleeding. I mean, you had 1 or 2 shots. That's more than reasonable if somebody's threatening you and your family. And I don't think you have anything to worry about. Could you be arrested or sued? Yeah, I could sue Jason for being obnoxious today if I wanted to. Pew Pew could sue him for harassment right now if he wanted to, but is it going to go anywhere? No. So anything's possible.
What can I sue him for, man?
In my room right now, but that's just not going to happen. So he's safe. Good for him. But next time, just close the door.
How was I being obnoxious? I was doing your work. I was asking
just hypothetically, giving you.
But nobody just says that word. I mean, that word
is
is
an example.
That's like ammunition. Like you've just been waiting to use obnoxious. Like that's a strong word.
Oh, okay, I didn't call you a whore, so that's good.
And I didn't call that girl one either.
Poor girl.
You don't think I harassed you, do you, Pew Pew?
Not enough to sue you over.
I mean, not enough.
We'll a couple episodes together, then we'll have a case.
I mean, not enough to like hurt our very close relationship, right?
Oh no, Jason, I'm coming back next week. Don't worry.
Okay, I because that's not what I was coming across. I was just asking questions. I will admit this. I get frustrated when I don't get the answers I'm looking for, and I get aggressive, and I apologize for that. I've got to work on that. That's part of me becoming a better me, and I'm sorry if I came across like that. But you don't fucking answer questions, and it drives me insane.
You just get used to it.
No, I won't, and I will win eventually. And when I ask him questions, he will answer yes and no eventually.
You keep breaking me down, Jason. You keep trying.
You can learn a lot from a guy like me. I'm just saying, you got to see what I'm doing, my angle, where I'm coming from, and what I'm trying to do, and you'll use what I teach you inadvertently in the courtroom someday, and probably win your biggest court case.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that we make it to 4 dates and she's a good sport about it and comes on. That would be
That'd
awesome.
be fun.
I would love to see that. If I can get the German princess to come on right after I got her released, so you're the first person in the history of media to talk to her after she got released from prison.
That's cool.
I'm hoping he can make it work, because by the 4th date, he's got her under a spell or something like that, to where you're like, baby, do
Something
this
like
for me.
Yeah, that's cool. How's she doing? You still talk to her, Anna Delvey?
Yeah, every now and again.
She texts you and be like, "Lord, many, what do you think?"
Well, she doesn't give me a voice text, so I presume the accent is in the text, but I don't know.
She can come on. She want to come back? Because I don't think she's still doing her podcast. I think that lasted for 3 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know the Dancing with the Stars got a lot of hubbub, but then she lost pretty early on. So I didn't even know. I mean, what is a star at this point? How are you a star? I mean, you made a Netflix documentary that was #1, but it was about you, not act in it. So
you just got to be on TV. That's all.
Aren't you doing Dancing with the Stars? Didn't they call you, Jason?
It's on an off net. It's on a streaming service, and it's for special dancers. Yeah, so there's
actually a 3-legged race, but whatever.
Right. It's everybody that are impaired in different ways, and they asked me to be on because my rhythm is gonna get you. It's just so good. Yes. You don't want
to they should do like field day with stars.
Jason.
What's that?
Everything used to do Circus of the Stars and all that stuff.
Are you guys talking over each other? What's that, Manny?
I said the rhythm's gonna get you. That's a good line from.
Yeah,
I think only you and I would get it. These other guys are way too young.
Thank you. I was seeing if somebody's gonna get the line. What were you saying, Ben?
I was just saying I think they should do like a field day of the stars, like they used to do Circus of the Stars and all that stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we could do like sack races and
kickball.
Jason, I want you to do a show about the circus. I went to the circus here, the Ringling Brothers. There's no more animals.
No.
They're like AI animals now. What is wrong with the world today?
I actually did a radio show on that when the kids were younger. We went to the circus and there were no animals, and it was horrible. Like I grew up with Ringling. You know, Ringling Brothers started in Sarasota, right? That's where it all started. And I as a kid. I loved the circus, the cotton candy. You'd go on a weeknight, which you got to stay out late. It was awesome. So I took the kids one year, and there was nothing. It was like a show. It was horrible. But that's all because of the PETA people, right? Now, right? But the flip side of that is like, okay, well, how well were these animals being treated by these people all these years? I mean, let's be honest here. Okay, we like to go for 2 hours worth of entertainment. We give them the money. Bears aren't naturally, in the wild putting pink tutus on, right? Lions, I'm sure, don't like to be told what to do and then whipped when they're not doing it. So let's be honest, is it really worth having all these animals just because that's tradition? I know that sounds very tree huggish, but when you think about it, like, you know what? I could go without the circus if these animals are being mistreated. And there's a lot of documentation that does show they were very much.
Yeah, they gave them a job, though.
All for it. Yeah, I'm all for it if they're mistreating the animals. I didn't realize it was that bad because usually when you see the documentaries, they love the whales and they love the dolphins, and the trainers that I've been to when I go to SeaWorld or wherever, they seem to really love the animals and take care of them.
Yeah, but
it's like a Cirque du Soleil show now. I mean, it was still entertaining, but I just didn't realize the monkeys and the elephants were gone.
Yeah, but the big difference is you've got gypsies traveling across the country doing a pop-up tent circus in a mall parking lot versus SeaWorld or Universal Studios that have millions and millions of dollars to do good things for the animals. Even though I know there was that Blackfish or Blackwater or whatever it was, showed a different side of those things. But I've seen some of these documentaries. It's like, Jesus, man, they're treating these animals horribly.
Didn't the trainers there get busted for having sex with the dolphins?
No, those are your friends, Brandon.
No, I thought that was a story. Because then they fall in love with their trainers.
No, that happened.
Yeah,
that was a Kevin Hart punchline.
Yeah.
What? That's a true story? They were banging?
There's like multiple stories of trainers banging dolphins. It's a thing.
What are you guys into? What websites are you on?
The news.
Yeah, Instagram.
I've never heard that before in my entire life.
It's just the two young guys talking about this.
Yeah. So have you ever swam with dolphins before?
No, because they might want to fuck me.
I banged one once.
I have. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. So,
that's what the dolphin said.
So they tell
Cosplay, as they say.
They tell you not to touch its happy hole because they're very horny animals and they will start to hump you. So you have to keep your hand clear of their horny holes and their dingers. Yeah.
Just like your dog.
Yeah, I mean, I could touch my dog's dinger and he's
He'll start humping your leg in a second.
No, not mine. I mean, I don't know why. I touch it all the time, so I've
peanut butter all over it.
And mark that time frame.
It's your dog.
I'm just kidding. All right, look, guys, thanks for coming on. It was good seeing you. Pew Pew, I'm so happy that you found potential love. This is very, very cool. Right in time for summer. Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving, it happened so fast. This is gonna be good, right?
It just might be Sandy.
Sandy, right? This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. You're gonna go to the beach. Show us pictures of her in a bikini. You're going to bring a cooler. You're going to have like wine coolers in there with little snacks. You're going to lay out the blanket. You're going to take your shirt off. Probably not a great idea. And then you guys are going to enjoy yourself. You're going to get some sun. And then you're going to lovey-lovey. And you're going to book an Airbnb right on the beach. You're going to wake up the next morning. And it's going to sunset. You're going to have breakfast. She's going to be like, I love you. And you're going to get married. And Manny's going to do an Indian wedding at his house. And he's going to be the guy that marries you. And you're going to wear the Indian garb stuff. It's going to be beautiful.
I see the vision. I see it.
I see it too, man. And the guy that got busted for the fentanyl stuff's going to be there because you guys are going to get him off the hook. And for a wedding gift, he's going to give you crack with fentanyl in it. He's going to kill you.
Clean go. We got to have a good after party.
It's going to get out of hand.
Sharing is caring.
That was a hell of a story. All right.
That's what I need to use in my opening statement.
What did you say, Ben?
Sharing is caring.
Caring is caring. Yeah. All right. TheAuroraLawFirm.com. Manny Pew Pew. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go. All right, guys. Let's wrap this up. Went a little long to get the friction on.
There was a lot there. There was a lot to unpack.
It drives me nuts. When I talk to somebody like Pew Pew and I can't get him to answer.
Well, his first mistake was saying, we'll call her Sabrina. See, I know not to do that anymore. So when I want to lie about a name, I just say the name.
Yeah, Sabrina. Her name's Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yep.
He really does remind me of the stepdad from Liar Liar.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Ellis.
You guys ready for the claw?
Yeah,
it's going to get you. It's going to get you, Sabrina.
Here comes the claw. All right, Chris Waters, you got anything before we get out?
Brainwashing is real.
That's right. All right, Bald Badger Ben.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher.
Drugs in your butt helps you avoid fentanyl.
There you go. All right, look, it's a free Bay episode. Hope you subscribe to get all the locked episodes. We'd appreciate it. We enjoyed having you here at thebaileyshow.com. thebaileyshow.com. Also, remember, for you two peers, you get 10% off at aliveozoneTherapySpa.com. Our ozone-infused magnesium butter is like correct. In a good way, all right? But everybody loves it, and a lot of two peers order it. So I've just gotten people that have gone, what is that code again? BS10, BS10, and you get 10% off. Like, share, follow on all of our social media. Please share our content at Listen to the BS. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. Lots going on. Just go to thebaileyshow.com. Help a brother out. Have a great, safe rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com. Yeah, baby.